Hey everybody, Jackson from Team Lavender here, and we have...
Aidan Carter.
And what did you do?
I came in 4th at the Providence Regional yesterday.
Alright, let's get into the deck profile.
Alright, so I was playing SPYRAL. This is pretty standard. I played 3 Tough, 3 Agent, all the good one-ofs. I played Gofu because links are busted. I played 3 Gamma. My hand trap ratios were a little bit different, like than what I normally would think to play. But Gamma's pretty standard, and Gamma was actually an MVP yesterday. There was one point where I just drew 3. I had 3 Gamma. Like I don't know if I got stacked, but I opened 3 Gamma, and there was a Toad that they were beating me down with, and then I drew Tough, summoned Tough. Tough effect, try to pop Toad. He negated it with Toad, and then when he activated the Grave effect of Toad, I used Gamma. And then Gamma went into Omega, and I just won from there with advantage. So Gamma was actually really good all day. And even if I went like first, it would just be good when if they cleared my board. I would just stop them with Gamma. I decided to run 3 Droll over the 3 Reaper I was originally running. This was like a last minute decision because as I was thinking, I was playtesting with my friend who was playing like Dinos. And Reaper was just dead the whole time. And I was like, this is going to be really bad if I don't play a lot of SPYRAL tomorrow. And since it's a regional, a lot of people will be playing SPYRAL because it's like it's the most expensive of the good decks, and Trickstar is becoming more and more popular. So I decided to run Droll and Lockbird because it stops Rogue and it stops Trickstar, and it ended up working out really well yesterday because I only played like 1 Spy. I played the 3 Ash because it's an amazing card, and Maxi because it's the best card. Played the 3 Resort, 3 Terraforming. And then I played 2 Foolish Burial Goods. I started out like with this deck by looking at like what other like pro players were doing, and then I molded the deck from there. But basically, I saw they were playing 2, so I tried it out. And then in my testing, I never wanted a 3rd, mostly because I was deterred. Like I was deterred from doing it because it's a once per turn. So if I ever open 2, that's like 1 less card I can play with in my hand. And I know SPYRAL a lot of time only needs 2, but I wanted to make it sure that like if I got hand trapped, I wanted as many cards I could play like following that hand trap as possible. So I decided like adding in the 3rd Foolish Burial because it's like a pseudo Foolish Burial Goods when you open up any of the when you open a Quick Fix or any of the agents, because you can either send Quick Fix when you have the agents, or if you have Quick Fix you send Master Plan, and then you can able to like go off in combo, and you can get Master Plan out without having to make Helix, which is like a faster way of doing it. So this actually worked out worked out really well for me yesterday with these 3. I played 1 for 1 because it's amazing. I played Rhoda so that I could have another agent in my deck. I played Regeki, which is an amazing card. I played it with the mentality that I was going into regionals, so I wanted a simplified game state more often than not. So by doing Regeki, I had more of a simplified game state, and because both players had like limited resources, or they had less resources than me, I simplified it and made it so that I could have more advantage and win. So when there's less resources for both players, normally the player with the more skill will win. So I was hoping that like by Regekiing, I would simplify the game state and be able to win more. And I was gonna run evenly matched, but I don't have access to them. So instead I replaced them with these 3 cards because I figured that I want to simplify the game state, I want an extra way to play, and then I wanted this as like a follow-up card. So basically in that sense I wanted it turned, if they maybe go turn 1 and they stopped like a Helix or stopped a way to play, I would have an extra way to reborn and play. Or if I'm going second, which is what I wanted to do, I was able to, if they like stop me, I would be able to use Soul Charge as like an extra follow-up and keep playing. So Soul Charge was really good all day, and I would probably keep it in even though I didn't intend to have it in. I played the Assault send off of the Foolish Burial Goods. I actually got the pop effect off a lot because I drew it in my opening hand, and I would normally summon Tough effect pop, and then I ended up drawing like really good cards off of it. So even the pop effect was really good for me that day. And I also ran the 1 Big Red. I ran the 2 Mission. This card is like so good. I know a lot of people already know about this card, and it's like they know how amazing it is, but I just love this card so much because I would draw it, or I would add it off of Master Plan, already have one, and I would just set it. And there was one time against a Paleo. I played 2 Paleo for some reason, and there was one time against a Paleo I had it set, and I had a Tough, and I activated it, and then for 4 of their turns and 3 of my turns, I was able to add back Tough, like, over and over again, and that ended up helping me win, because then this died, and then I was able to, like, reborn it, and so I had, like, Tough every turn, I kept putting on advantage, and that ended up winning me the game. For the extra deck, I ran 2 Helix, obviously. I ran Link Spider and Proxy for the Gofu, and if I wanted to, like, if I didn't want to go directly into Decode, or if I didn't want to make this and have the Gofu and get worried about Reaper, I would make this. Ib and Grisu, I never made Ib, because again, like, there was so many hand traps going around that, like, it was hard for me to, like, make a big board. It was more just I had to, like, outgrind them, which is why Rescue was so good. So there was I never made Ib, and there was only one time that I made Ningrisu, and it was 2, they had 1 back row, and I basically, like, had game, so I made Gofu, and I turned Gofu into this with Link Proxy and Link Spider, and then I sent itself and sent their back row, which was a Storming Mirror Force because it was Paleo, and then I normal summon Drone, Special Agent, and just won from there. So, like, Ningrisu was basically just my spot removal. Decode Talker and Gaia. Trigate. I never made Trigate because, again, Trigate's really good if, like, you go first, have the nuts, and they don't have any hand traps, so you can play around evenly matched. But the problem was that, like, everyone had so many hand traps that I wasn't able to do anything to make it, so it just kind of chilled my extra deck. But it was nice to have, and knowing that I could make it. Board Load is another card I never had to make, but, like, I would keep it in because it's just so good, and, like, if you have to make it, like, it's so helpful to do so. But yeah, I never actually had to make it, but it's an amazing card. A lot of people are only playing 1 Firewall, but basically I was, like, so worried about getting evenly matched yesterday because it's just a horrible thing to do, to get evenly matched. So there was points where I would end with Firewall and Helix and Sleeper, but then there was access to, like, another, like, 2 more monsters I could use. So what I would do is I would turn the Helix and the 2 other monsters into Firewall, and basically what this did was it allowed me, because I went second, so I'd have so many hand traps, I had 10 hand traps I would use, so, like, I would use 1 of them on my first turn, make this on my second turn, and then I would be able to, or if I went first, I would be able to hopefully mill. Sometimes it happened, I milled off of Sylvan Princess Sprite, I milled a hand trap, and this Firewall would add me back a hand trap, or this one, whatever, and then I would still have another, like, either a bounce from their monster, or add back a monster from my grave, and that would net me. So basically, if they had to evenly match me, and I used both these effects, and I kept the Sleeper, they would only get, I would only lose 2 cards to their 1 evenly match, so it would only really be a +1, which isn't what you really want with evenly match. Evenly match, you want to blow up their board. But because I got value out of these 2 and I kept my Sleeper, I would only lose 2 cards, because this would turn into 2 cards each. I would only lose the Resort and the Last Resort, and since he's replaced himself, the Sleeper stayed there, so it was helpful for advantage. I never got evenly matched, but I knew that, like, if I had, I would have been okay because of these. But this actually turned out to be even better because I never got evenly matched, so that I could use this as a defensive card and bounce back their cards. I ran the Sylvan Princess Sprite because it's just a really good rank 1 to help me get things out of things to integrate for Firewall if I wanted to. And then Baguska, I actually made this a couple times against Trickstar, which was really helpful, because it allowed me to just stop them for that turn and then keep going. And they would have to make, like, a link play, which wastes a lot of their cards. The last card I ran was Omega. Omega was so good for me. It was a last-minute decision, but since I moved the Reapers to the side, I didn't really want a Reaper target in my extra deck, because I wanted as much utility as possible. And it was hard to decide on what Reaper target I would use, because there's so many other rogue decks, like there's Mechaba, there's Buster, there's Toad, there's Dante. Like, I didn't want to have to, like, make the wrong decision and lose because I didn't have the right Reaper target, so I decided to put this in because it makes my Gamma have more value. Because normally if you Gamma and you don't have this, you're just turning your Gamma into, like, Link materials. But I wanted to be able to have, if I just had Gamma, I wanted to be able to turn it into something that would actually help me, like, gain advantage. Like, I made Omega one time when I stopped that Toad, and then I had Rescue banished, so I just made it past, and then on his standby, I put the Rescue back into my grave, and then was able to summon Tough and, like, keep playing. So it was just a very, like, it helped with advantage, and I don't, like, regret playing it. I think I would play it again. But yeah, it just helped with, like, turning Gamma into, like, actual advantage rather than just 2 cards I can turn into links. For my side deck, I put 3 Reaper. Again, I didn't want to put him in the main because I didn't think I'd be playing that much Spiral. I ended up only playing 1 Spiral, so it like worked out for me. But if I went to a bigger event like a YCS or whatever, I'd probably main these because I'd expect to play more Spiral. But this whole deck is like built for the mentality that I'm going to be playing at a regional with a lot of different like decks besides Spiral. 1 Chaos Hunter. I was supposed to be playing 2, or like I was supposed to be playing 2, but I couldn't find a second one. And me and my friend both had 1 and didn't want to let the other one play 2 and us play 0. So instead we decided to we each have 1, and then if whoever summoned it most throughout the day would win a $5 bet between us. But the problem was, since we were only siding 1, neither of us ever drew it when we needed it, and we win anyway. But like neither of us ever summoned it, so the bet never happened. But I would definitely play more of this because it's such a good card against Trickstar going second. I played the Artifact Engine. I played it because going second, you have to have like cards that you side into for going first. And I saw people running the Artifact Engine. I think it's like really good. I also think it's good because Spirals has evolved to now you tough pop and you agent pop, and you just want to clear their board. So what you can do is you just set this, and then you don't activate it like when they summon the first tough. But like tough is gonna pop this, so then you can chain it, and then you'll get the Scythe, which is value because they can't, especially from the extra deck. Also, you get the pop from Sanctum, so you get like way more cards than if you just had like a Strike, which could get popped anyway. So it just gave you way more value than any other cards that you could like go first with. 3 Mind Crush because I was scared of evenly matched, and even if they don't have evenly matched and like you're preparing for it, this Mind Crush just like hits so many good cards this format. Like Trickstar is really good against. You can hit Lycoris, you can hit Candina, and like you can just hit random cards in Rogue, and like if you do end up hitting the evenly match, it's really good. But even if they don't have evenly match, it's still like a powerful card. So like I sided in a lot against Trickstar. Like I would choose to go first against Trickstar sometimes, and I would put this in, and it was just helpful to really get their resources down. But yeah, I never got evenly matched, so like I was so prepared for it, and then it just didn't happen. The last 3 cards in my side deck were 3 Cosmic Cyclone. The 3 Cosmic Cyclone was so helpful because I was trying to decide between 3 Ogre or 3 Cosmic Cyclone, and my friend Jackson, shout out, he's also on Team Lavender. He's recording this right now, but he told me that I should run Cosmic Cyclone instead because even though they're both good against Magician, and Ogre is a hand trap, so you can use it on your first turn, this card is just so good against so many different matchups. And then I started to realize throughout the tournament that this card's really good against Mistake, which is what a lot of like rogue decks are running. So there was at least 4 times throughout the day that I ended up drawing this in my opening hand, and they were like, I activated Resort, they mistaked, and I just chained this and won. And I used it on a skill drain too. Like it was just so good with those rogue matchups, as well as like other decks that like might have like floodgates for you. So that was
all right. Now, what were your matchups like yesterday? You said I played a lot of Paleo.
Yeah, I played way more Paleo than I ever expected to. I played 2 Paleo. I played 3 Trickstar. I played 1 Spiral, and then I played True Draco and then True King 6 Sam. So it wasn't in that order, but like that was like my matchups yesterday. So it was really helpful that I prepared for Rogue because I played a lot of Rogue and Trickstar. So it was helpful in that regard. So I'm very happy that I made the deck the way I did.
All right, now any shout-outs you want to give?
I want to give a shout-out to Jackson because I don't own cards, so he basically just gave me the whole Spiral deck to play. So shout-out to him. Shout-out to Team Lavender, my team, for doing really well. We had 2 top 8s that day, almost 3 if Ryan didn't play bad, but you know, it happens. Shout out to DB for letting me playtest every day. That's like an amazing website I just use all the time. And shout out to Team Lavender.
All right, and with that, this is Jackson from Team Lavender signing out.